Okay, so today we're at Fort Eustis Bragg, and we're going to go in here to the U.S. Army Women's Museum.
And then on the other side over here is the Quartermaster Museum. We'll go to that next. Well, here we are. Just came in the front door. Brenda's signing in as a guest. Yeah, here it is. Courage to deliver. The women of the 6888 Central Postal Directory Ballot. The women of the 6888. It's kind of interesting. Never really heard anything about it.
Taken by men and women standing shoulder to shoulder for over 2 centuries. From the American Revolution to the modern War on Terror, the Army Women's Museum examines the intricate and evolving relationship between the Army, women, and American society. Across generations, Army women's roles are often prompted by Army needs. Throughout our nation's conflicts, the Army has called upon women for their support, skills, or manpower. Progress for Army women is also defined by their willingness to serve in any capacity offered. Women have stepped up to do their part in our nation's conflicts and willingly shared in the sacrifices. It is impossible to consider dramatic Army changes for women without examining the larger national landscape. An unequivocal relationship exists between Army policy changes and large social movements in society.
Now, it's very interesting. It takes you through the history of women in the service and the way they served. And it just goes through the whole story here, how they progressed. And they started out just doing things that they could do, and they kept progressing and progressing. And of course they did mail and they did switchboard, and some of them were spies. And yeah, there's old Rosie. We can do it. Rosie the Riveter. There she is.
The World War II war effort in many different ways. Her story and the story of many other women and their selfless sacrifice helped usher in. Dorothy worked at the Hoover vacuum cleaner plant in Canton, Ohio. After the attack on Pearl Harbor, Hoover stopped making vacuum cleaners and started to support the war effort. Dorothy worked in ordnance assembly. She was one of millions of female factory workers known as Rosies, based on the government's Rosie the Riveter recruiting campaign. Some were called women ordnance workers, or WOWs. In 1942, Dorothy enlisted in the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps, WAC, and was sent to Fort Des Moines, Iowa for basic training. After the 4-week basic training, Dorothy attended the Cooks and Bakers course. Little did she know that her unit was being groomed as the first group of WACs to be sent into a combat theater. Without knowing where they were going, Dorothy's unit was loaded onto a train. 2 days later, they arrived at Daytona Beach, Florida, and were told they were part of a newly formed unit, the 149th WAC Post Headquarters Company, and that they would be sent overseas to support General Eisenhower's headquarters in North Africa. After a couple of weeks, Dorothy's unit was sent to Camp Kilmer in New Jersey for a short pit stop before leaving from Staten Island on the SS Santa Paula. The ocean voyage took 13 days, and when Dorothy's unit arrived, they took a train to their new home, the convent of Monastère de Bon Pasteur.
Oh, there's Rosie the Riveter right there. Her name was really Dorothy Wise. 14th Army Band, Fort McClellan, Alabama. Well, this one right here is a uniform Brenda said she started with. And then by the time she retired, this is what she had right here. Okay, we're at the Quartermaster Museum now. Battle ready. Quartermaster's mission in World War I.
The Vickers pack saddle, machine gun, and ammo box. This case contains a World War I era pack saddle to which is secured a Vickers machine gun. Although the Vickers machine gun was a British-made firearm, it was also used by the American force during the war. Weighing about 40 pounds, this .30 caliber weapon required a team of as many as 6 soldiers to operate, handle such functions as firing, feeding ammunition, and operating the water cooling system. The saddle bears the maker's mark of Victor's son, London Maxim, showing that it was produced by the British gun manufacturer. Another mark on the straps, stamped Rock Island Arsenal 1907, attests that this soldier was used by American forces.
Like all museums, lots of information here. Okay, it says, keep the stars shining for Uncle Sam. Join the Quartermaster's Corps for your future success. Be a business soldier in the United States Army. Enlist for 1 or 3 years are now being made at There's your Model T truck. Yeah, that's the early laundry services. Shower tents. This shows you how to load the parachutes. Rigger checks. Another interesting museum. I really like how they put this together. You know, even got General Patton's Jeep here. And here's Pipeline Pete. He's kind of cute. You know, here's the field rations, American Revolution, the Civil War, the Spanish War, World War I, II, current rations. Tell you, I don't know who puts these together, but boy, they do a nice job. Really a good job. This is the Battle of the Little Bighorn with the water carrier. Yeah, here we go. 1775 was supply, transportation, shelter. Important. 1842, horses, clothing, and forage. 1862, graves and registration. 1912. Subsistence pay. 1916, petroleum field service. 1950, aerial delivery. 1981, water purification.